Chosen one, listen not with your ears, but with your spirit. This is more than a motivational video, more than a prophetic word. This is your confirmation that you are not here by coincidence. This very moment was written in eternity, and today, you're standing at the edge of divine revelation. You were never meant to live a life of survival. You were never meant to walk in mediocrity. You were born with greatness coded into your DNA. And now, heaven is calling you to rise. Yes, you. You're not just blessed. You are handpicked. You are marked. You are a chosen one. And the message I bring today is thunder from heaven. God has chosen you to be a billionaire. Not for status, not for pride, but for purpose. This is your divine inheritance. You may have walked through seasons of lack, hardship, or feeling invisible, but none of that defines who you truly are. Every trial, every setback, every sleepless night was not a punishment, it was preparation. God wasn't ignoring you, He was equipping you. He was strengthening your spirit, sharpening your vision, and stretching your faith for something far greater than your current condition. You are not here by accident. Your life carries a divine blueprint, and within that blueprint is a calling that far exceeds what you see today. The challenges you faced weren't signs of failure. They were signals of future greatness. Like Joseph in the prison or David in the wilderness, your current chapter does not cancel your destiny. It confirms it. God is not just calling you to survive. He's calling you to lead, build, and bless. Your destiny is not tied to your bank account or background. It's tied to God's purpose for your life, and that purpose is overflowing with abundance. When heaven marks you as chosen, no earthly condition can limit what God has ordained. Your calling was written before your first breath, and now is the time to step into it. God never intended for you to live in lack. From the beginning, He authored a life of abundance for you, one rooted not in worldly striving, but in divine alignment. His plan for your wealth is precise, purposeful, and already in motion. All it takes to activate it is your agreement, your willingness to walk by faith, not by sight. In God's economy, faith is more valuable than money. It is the invisible currency that unlocks visible miracles. The world says, "Show me and I'll believe," but God says, "Believe, and I will show you." Faith is not passive. It moves, it acts, it steps out even when the way is unclear. And when you dare to act on what God has spoken, doors begin to open that no man can shut. Every time you choose faith over fear, you place a spiritual demand on the promises of God. That decision alone positions you to receive what He has already set aside for you. A flow of resources, connections, and ideas that far exceed natural logic. Faith isn't just believing in God's promise, it's responding to it. God has already placed within you everything you need to step into your billionaire calling. Your gift, the thing that comes naturally, the passion that ignites your soul, isn't ordinary. It's sacred. And when you steward it, when you refine and release it, it becomes the gateway to divine provision. You don't need to chase wealth. You need to cultivate what God gave you. That idea, that skill, that voice, that vision, it's a gold mine. And when faith meets obedience, your gift becomes the tool God uses to build legacy, bless nations, and fulfill His covenant of abundance in your life. This moment isn't just about receiving encouragement. It's about recognizing a divine activation. What you're hearing is not a mere message, it's the ignition of a movement. God isn't just speaking to you, He's commissioning you. This is a call to rise, not only as an individual but as a trailblazer for a generation of chosen ones who will reshape culture, economy, and history through faith-fueled wealth. This movement is bigger than motivation. It's about mobilization. You're being called to walk boldly in what heaven has already declared, that you are chosen to carry influence, impact, and divine abundance. Just as Moses led people out of captivity, and Joseph turned famine into provision, your rise will become the evidence of God's faithfulness to those around you. And you're not alone. Across the world, Other chosen ones are awakening. Together, we are a collective force, those who refuse to bow to fear, those who build with purpose, those who bless through prosperity. This is not the beginning of a dream. It is the manifestation of destiny. You're not just receiving revelation. You're becoming a living expression of it. This is your moment to move, and your movement starts now. There comes a point in every journey when everything shifts, when what once seemed distant becomes undeniably real. That moment is now, not tomorrow, not someday. Right here, right now, transformation is unfolding. You are not on the edge of change. You are in the middle of it. God's timing is perfect, and today, He is opening doors that no one can close. This isn't about waiting for ideal conditions. It's about trusting that when God says move, miracles follow. You've been prepared in the quiet, refined in the fire, and now heaven is declaring, you're ready, ready to receive, ready to walk in what's already been written. What once felt delayed is now being delivered. The prayers you whispered in silence, the dreams you tucked away, the visions you nearly forgot, God never did. He's been aligning people, resources, and opportunities behind the scenes. All He needs now is your yes. This isn't just a new chapter, it's a divine unveiling. When you choose faith in this moment, you step into a reality where abundance flows, favor multiplies, and transformation accelerates. The wait is over. The shift is happening. And your billionaire breakthrough begins today. Transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens by alignment. The billions God has prepared for you aren't waiting in some distant future. They're already within reach. But to walk in that reality, you must shift your mindset, your actions, and your atmosphere. Here's how you begin stepping into the wealth God has destined for you. 1. Believe bigger. Every breakthrough begins with belief. Not belief in what you see, but in what God has said. If you continue to think small, you'll live small, even with a big calling. God is not limited by your past, your education, or your resources. The only thing that can limit His blessings is your own belief. So stretch your faith. Believe that you're not just meant to have enough, but more than enough. Believe that your gift is valuable, your vision is needed, and your future is overflowing. 2. Take inspired action. Faith without action is empty. Once you believe, you must move. That business plan? Start writing it. That call you've been delaying? Make it. That idea that won't leave you alone? Pursue it. God gives divine ideas, but He expects earthly obedience. When you take that first step, even if it's small, you activate the flow of heaven's provision. 3. Guard your environment. Your destiny requires protection. Surround yourself with voices that lift your vision, not those that shrink it. Be intentional about who you let speak into your life. A billionaire mindset can't thrive in a poverty atmosphere. Stay connected to people, messages, and environments that cultivate faith, vision, and purpose. Together, these steps don't just prepare you for wealth, they position you to receive it. Your billions are not found in someday. They're accessed through bold belief, consistent action, and a guarded atmosphere of faith. Every great calling will face great resistance. But don't mistake opposition for failure. It's actually a signal that you're nearing breakthrough. When you begin to step into what God has spoken over your life, expect the enemy to push back. Why? Because your rise threatens everything that tried to keep you small. Doubt may creep in. Delays may frustrate you. People may misunderstand your journey, but none of it can stop what God has ordained. Resistance isn't rejection, it's revelation. It reveals how close you are to the door of destiny. The heat always intensifies just before the gold is refined. Remember, David faced Goliath just before becoming a national hero. Joseph was imprisoned right before being elevated to power. Your challenges aren't random. They're refining you, sharpening your focus, and deepening your faith for the abundance ahead. So when pressure rises, don't retreat. Press in. When lies whisper, "You're not enough," declare the truth. You were chosen for this. Resistance doesn't mean stop. It means God is about to launch you. Your billionaire destiny isn't behind you. It's right on the other side of the pressure you're pushing through. Stay the course. The promise is closer than it's ever been. This moment isn't just about receiving encouragement, it's about recognizing a divine activation. What you're hearing is not a mere message, it's the ignition of a movement. God isn't just speaking to you, He's commissioning you. This is a call to rise, not only as an individual but as a trailblazer for a generation of chosen ones who will reshape the wealth God is pouring into your life. Isn't just for comfort, it's for calling. You weren't chosen to simply accumulate riches. You were chosen to build a legacy that echoes through eternity. Every blessing He places in your hands carries purpose, and every dollar is a tool to heal, uplift, and restore. Your billions are not just a reward, they are a responsibility. They're meant to break cycles of poverty, fund dreams that have been silenced by lack, and plant seeds that future generations will harvest. Just as Solomon's wisdom built a kingdom of influence, and Joseph's strategy saved nations, your wealth is meant to transform lives beyond your own. This isn't about personal success, it's about kingdom impact. When God blesses you, He blesses through you. The legacy you're building will outlive your name, your time, and your reach. Schools will be founded, ministries launched, communities rebuilt, all flowing from the overflow God is entrusting to you. You are not just a recipient of wealth, you are a vessel of divine impact. And as you walk in obedience, your life will become a living testimony that when God blesses a chosen one, generations are changed forever. This is the part where you decide, will you shrink back, or will you rise? Will you chase what the world says is safe, or walk in the supernatural? God has written your name on this calling. Heaven is moving, angels are aligning, wealth is shifting. This is not a dream, this is your moment. You are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are His child, God has made you also an heir. Galatians 4:7. An heir to what? Billions. An heir to how much? All of it. An heir for when? Today. If this message stirred your spirit, take action. Drop 777 in the comments as a divine signal of agreement. Subscribe to this movement of chosen ones rising. Like this video to lock in this spiritual transaction. Write down your vision. Speak it daily. Live it boldly. Chosen one, your wealth is not just for you. It's for the world. Your life will be living proof that God keeps His promises. You're not just touching billions. You're transforming them into blessings. You're not waiting. You're walking in it now. Heaven hears you. The earth will soon see you, and history will remember you. Beloved chosen one, if you're listening to this message right now, take a deep breath and know this. It's not by accident. This moment was divinely orchestrated, a sacred appointment between your spirit and the voice of destiny. Something is awakening inside of you, a stirring you can't quite explain, and as your heart quickens and your spirit leans in, I invite you to receive this truth. You have been chosen by the Creator Himself, chosen for transformation, for renewal, and for a purpose greater than anything you've ever imagined. He is about to release into your life something so beautiful, so astonishing, that even your reflection in the mirror will be a sign and wonder. Prepare yourself, for you are stepping into a divine metamorphosis, a season of supernatural youth, healing, and radiance, a gift of God's eternal touch. Part 1. The divine shift has begun. When God turns His gaze upon you, when His divine hand rests gently yet powerfully upon your life, something profound begins to unfold like the first light of morning, breaking through a long and silent night. At first, the change is subtle, almost imperceptible, but soon the world around you begins to sense it. There's a shift in your stride, a strength that wasn't there before. Your eyes reflect something deeper without uttering a word. Your very presence begins to stir the atmosphere around you. This is not imagination. This is not a coincidence. This is the undeniable mark of someone touched by heaven. God's transformation does not stop at the soul. It flows like a river from your spirit into your thoughts, your emotions, your very body. What once clung to you, weariness, sorrow, fear, begins to fall away like dust shaken from your feet. The tiredness that once settled in your bones is replaced by divine vitality. The heaviness in your heart is lifted by the breath of the Holy Spirit, and in its place, a lightness enters, full of beauty, purpose, and sacred energy. You begin to feel alive in ways you had long forgotten. But make no mistake, this is not about vanity. It's about victory. Victory over the slow erosion of hope, over despair that once whispered lies to your soul. Victory over the limitations others placed upon you and the ones you unknowingly placed upon yourself. This transformation is holy. It is heaven's way of saying, you are not who you used to be. You are being made new. From spirit to skin, renewal touches every part of you. It doesn't just lift your spirit, it awakens it. It doesn't just refresh your body, it resurrects it. The Holy Spirit is not simply improving you, He is redefining you. And as this divine shift takes root, the reflection you see in the mirror will no longer just show a face, it will reveal a testimony. A living, breathing, radiant example of what it looks like when God steps into a life and says, "Now, let there be light." Part 2. The eternal youth of the chosen. The renewal that God is bringing into your life is not simply about appearing younger. It is about being realigned with the eternal design He wove into your very being from the beginning. You were never meant to merely exist or survive. You were created to shine, to reflect the very essence of His beauty, His radiance, and His glory in a way that only you can. And now, that divine light is awakening within your body, as if heaven itself is breathing life into every cell. The changes may begin quietly, but they are unmistakably sacred. Your skin begins to carry a glow no serum could create, a softness kissed by grace, a light that seems to come from somewhere beyond this world. Your back straightens, not merely from better posture, but from a divine sense of confidence. Your laughter becomes more free, your smile more effortless, touched by joy that is not fleeting but anchored in eternity. This is not a surface-level transformation. This is not a human-made makeover. This is the touch of the Creator restoring what time and trials tried to steal from you. Your very cells seem to respond to His voice, aligning with the rhythm of heaven, and your spirit, once weary, now rises in resurrection power, lifting your entire being into newness. You are becoming more than changed. You are becoming renewed, reawakened, reborn into the beauty and strength that was always yours through Christ. You are a walking miracle, a living, breathing testimony of divine restoration. Where the world sees age and decline, God speaks of revival. Where others see limits, He whispers, "Watch what I can do." This is the fulfillment of His promise in Joel 2:25. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And that restoration is not only emotional or spiritual, it is tangible. It is radiant. And as you walk in this eternal youth, know this: you are not going backward. You are moving forward into a divine version of yourself that time cannot touch and no man can replicate. Part 3. What the world will see. Make no mistake, when God transforms you, the change is impossible to hide. It will be a holy echo that resonates wherever you go. People around you will begin to take notice. They'll glance twice. They'll ask questions, curious, intrigued, even baffled. What's different about you? Some might assume it's a new routine, a better diet, a different skincare regimen. They'll search for a worldly explanation to make sense of something that is completely divine. But deep down, you will know the truth. You've had an encounter with the living God, and that encounter has redefined your very essence. This isn't a glow that can be bought, or a light that can be faked. It is the radiance of heaven shining through a vessel made willing. There will be a brightness in your eyes, a peace in your expression, and a clarity in your voice that commands respect, not through force, but through quiet authority. You won't have to announce your transformation. It will speak for itself. This is not about drawing attention to yourself or seeking validation from others. It's about becoming a reflection of the one who chose you. The glow they see? It's not just light. It's the evidence of His Spirit alive within you. It's the shine of grace, the fire of purpose, and the whisper of eternity woven into your daily walk. And yes, some may misunderstand. Some may resist what they cannot explain. But no one will be able to deny it. You are becoming a sign and a wonder, a walking revelation of divine craftsmanship, of a life rewritten by grace. And wherever you go, the world will see heaven's fingerprints on you. Part 4. Letting go to step into new life. Every divine transformation demands a release, a sacred shedding of the old to make room for what is new, holy, and destined. Just as a butterfly cannot take flight while clinging to the confines of its cocoon, you too must release the versions of yourself that no longer serve the brilliance of your divine identity. This is not just about letting go of habits. It's about surrendering patterns of thought, worn-out beliefs, and connections that have weighed down your wings. The toxic relationships that drained your spirit, the doubt that whispered you were never enough, the weariness that settled into your bones like winter, all of it must be laid at the feet of the one who is making you new. What God is building within you cannot exist alongside the limitations of your past. His glory will not be shared with anything that dims your light. This is your pruning season, not to punish, but to prepare. And yes, it may feel like a loss at first, but in truth, it is divine realignment. God is not taking from you. He is clearing space within you for something far greater. He is severing the ties that no longer carry your purpose. He is gently, lovingly, removing what cannot thrive in your next chapter. In its place, He is planting seeds of holy possibility, relationships that honor your soul, opportunities that align with your calling, and strength that flows not from striving, but from grace. Letting go in this season is not a sign of weakness. It is a bold act of faith. Faith that what God is preparing exceeds anything you could imagine. Faith that the loss is not loss at all, but transformation in disguise. Faith that the hands of the gardener know what must be trimmed to make you flourish. So don't cling to what was. Instead, open your hands, open your heart, and trust that what lies ahead is far more beautiful than anything you leave behind. Part 5. Embracing the new you. As you continue walking through this sacred transformation, you are not becoming someone else. You are becoming you, the you God designed, before the foundations of the earth. It's a beautiful unveiling, not a reinvention. Layer by layer, He is stripping away everything that was never meant to define you. And in this divine revealing, long-buried dreams begin to stir again. Passions you once silenced come back to life, now burning brighter than before. You start to remember the visions you thought were lost to time. And in the mirror, you finally see someone you recognize, not just by features, but by purpose. And you whisper with awe, "Yes, that's me. That's who God created." With this rediscovery comes a new kind of confidence, one not born of ego, but of sacred identity. It's not about walking taller to be seen, it's about walking truer because you finally know who you are. This is the quiet boldness of someone who understands they are God's handiwork, His masterpiece, His chosen one. You begin to move through the world differently. Your words carry more weight, not because they're louder, but because they're anchored in truth. Even your silence holds power because your very presence speaks of healing, wholeness, and heaven's touch. Everything about you begins to declare, without apology or hesitation, "I am loved. I am called. I am new." And the world around you will feel it, even if they can't explain it. Because when you walk in alignment with the identity God has placed within you, you don't just live, you radiate. You become a reflection of divine possibility. And the more you embrace who you truly are in Christ, the more unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably radiant you become. Part 6. Resistance, Refinement, and Rising Higher. As the transformation within you deepens, not everyone will understand the changes they see. Some will question it, unable to reconcile the person you are becoming with the version of you they once knew. Others may quietly pull away, unsettled by the light you now carry, a light that challenges their comfort zones. They were familiar with the older version of you, the one who dimmed your shine to fit in, who carried your brilliance in silence. But now, as you rise into your God-given identity, that familiar version fades, and with it, the attachments that were never meant to last. And though this can feel painful, like relational tides shifting without warning, it is not rejection, it is refinement. God is using this season to reveal who is truly aligned with your divine journey. He is allowing your transformation to be the mirror that reflects hearts and motives, exposing what can no longer walk beside you. This is not a punishment, it is a gift. For in shedding what no longer fits, you create space for what is sacred. Divinely appointed relationships that see you not only for who you were, but for who you are becoming. These are the ones who recognize your growth and celebrate it. They water your dreams, honor your healing, and speak life into your calling. And as you continue to rise, you'll gain more than just a new community, you'll gain clarity. Not only about who is for you, but about who you truly are. You begin to see with spiritual eyes, realizing that resistance is not always opposition. It's often confirmation that you are walking the right path. The brighter your light, the more it exposes. But don't fear it. Embrace it. Because this clarity, though born from discomfort, is the soil in which your next level will flourish. You are not losing people, you are gaining perspective. And what awaits you ahead is far greater than what's been left behind. Part 7. Walking in God's Purpose. The transformation that God is working in your life was never meant to stop at outward beauty. It is far deeper, far more sacred. It is about divine alignment. Every change you feel, every shift you sense, is part of a holy realignment. God is bringing your body, your spirit, your relationships, and your dreams into harmony with the divine path He has already prepared for you. He is not simply polishing you, He is positioning you. That's why doors are opening that you never knocked on, and people are being removed or introduced with such divine precision. It's not random. It's not chaos. It's purpose. What feels like surprise to you is a strategy to Him. God is leading you into spaces you never expected to enter, into rooms where your name is spoken with honor, into conversations you never planned but deeply needed, and into opportunities that once seemed distant or even impossible. And yet, in your spirit, there's a quiet knowing. This is where I'm meant to be. God has been orchestrating every step, every delay, every detour to bring you into perfect alignment with your calling. This is the beauty of walking in God's purpose. It's not always predictable, but it is always intentional. Every encounter has meaning. Every redirection has mercy behind it. And as you surrender to His movement, you'll notice your entire life beginning to flow with greater ease. Decisions feel clearer. Timing feels divine. That's because when you walk in step with heaven, even the hard things begin to make sense. Even the closed doors feel like blessings in disguise. God is writing a story through your life, and it's a story of redemption, beauty, and power. You are not being transformed for appearance's sake. You are being prepared to carry His glory in a way that changes lives. He is aligning every part of you to fulfill a promise spoken over you long ago. And now, as you walk in His purpose, you are walking into the fulfillment of that promise, one step at a time, guided by His hand, anchored in His love. Part 8. Becoming a living testimony. As you continue to walk this sacred Spirit-led path, something extraordinary will become a catalyst for transformation in others. The change God is bringing into your life is not only for your benefit, it is a testimony in motion, a living message that others will read before they ever open a Bible. When people see the glow on your face, the peace in your heart, and the strength in your step, they'll pause, they'll wonder, and in that moment of awe, their hearts will whisper a quiet hope. If God could do that for them, maybe He can do it for me too. You may never know the full impact of your transformation, but heaven will, because your life will speak louder than any sermon. You'll carry God's message without needing a stage. Your very presence will preach resurrection. The radiance in your eyes will testify to healing. The joy that flows from your spirit, effortless, anchored, and unshakable, will be proof of divine intervention. You won't have to convince people with words. The fruit of your transformation will speak for itself. It will whisper to the broken. It will shout to the weary. It will call the doubting back to faith. And this transformation won't be a one-time moment. It will be a continuous unfolding. You'll go from youth to strength, from sorrow to deep, abiding peace. The confusion that once clouded your mind will be replaced by clarity rooted in divine wisdom. It will be layer upon layer of glory, revealing more and more of God's goodness with every step you take. Each chapter of your journey will declare something new, that He restores what was lost, that He brings beauty out of ashes, that He renews strength like the eagle. So now, chosen one, as you stand at the edge of this divine transformation, don't look back. Don't question what God is doing. Step forward, eyes lifted, heart open. The Creator of heaven and earth has looked upon you and said, "You are mine, and I am making all things new." This is your moment. This is your time. You are not just living. You are glowing. You are rising. You are walking in miracles, from the inside out, from glory to glory, from ordinary to extraordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You were made to shine. And now, you will. If this message resonated with your spirit, we invite you to leave the number 77 in the comments. It's a number of divine alignment, completion, and purpose. Let it be your yes to the transformation God is stirring within you. If you'd like to support us in creating more messages like this, consider clicking the subscribe button. Every kind gesture fuels our passion to serve this beautiful chosen community. Until next time, stay radiant, stay faithful, and never forget, you are chosen. If you're watching this, it's not a coincidence. You were led here by something greater, by a feeling, a pull in your spirit, a restlessness you couldn't explain. You've likely sensed a shift around you, something unseen yet undeniable. The air feels heavier. Your dreams are more vivid. The people around you seem different. What if I told you this isn't paranoia, but perception? April 2025 is a turning point, a month when your spiritual senses will sharpen and your vision will no longer be limited to the physical world. This video is not just information. It is a call, an inner echo reminding you of who you truly are and why you're here. Your eyes, both physical and spiritual, will begin to receive messages from places you've long forgotten. The natural world, silent spaces, subtle glances, and invisible forces moving around you. This month will challenge your heart, confront your beliefs, and awaken your soul. You will see what others ignore, and once you see, you cannot unsee. Welcome to the awakening of vision. Welcome to April 2025. Not all eyes were created equal. While many look, only a few truly see. For those who are spiritually attuned, those often referred to as the chosen, vision transcends the boundaries of the physical world. Their eyes do more than capture light. They interpret energy, decode silence, and read the vibrations of a world most never notice. As April 2025 unfolds, this ability will not only intensify, it will awaken in ways that may be both startling and sacred. You may begin to perceive things you once brushed off as tricks of the light or coincidences. A shimmer in the corner of your vision, a fleeting shadow that vanishes before you can focus. a sudden brightness in someone's eyes that wasn't there before. These are not accidents. These are glimpses into the unseen, signals from the spiritual realm responding to the frequency rising within you. Your vision is being recalibrated, not just to observe the world, but to discern it. What others dismiss, you will feel deeply. Where others walk unaware, you will tread with intuition. You may notice emotional shifts in people before they speak, sense tension in a room before words are exchanged, or feel a powerful presence in moments of quiet solitude. This is the mark of a soul stepping into higher awareness, a soul no longer content with surface-level living. The challenge, however, is that such vision is not always easy to carry. To see through illusions means confronting truths that others avoid. You may find beauty where no one else sees it, but you will also recognize deception wrapped in smiles, heaviness masked as light, and spiritual warfare hidden in mundane moments. The world around you will not change overnight, but your relationship to it will. Being chosen to see differently is not about superiority. It is about responsibility. The responsibility to remain awake in a world lulled to sleep. The responsibility to trust what your eyes show you, even when it makes you uncomfortable. Because from now on, your sight is not just a function, it is a calling. And once your spiritual vision activates, you can no longer pretend to be blind. You were not meant to live in darkness. You were created to walk in the light and to recognize the divine, even when it's hidden in shadow. April is not merely the fourth month of the year. It is not just a passing point on a calendar or a routine season of transition. For those attuned to the spiritual, April 2025 is a portal, a sacred threshold between what was and what is becoming. It is a divine invitation to step out of old energies, outdated beliefs, and stagnant ways of being, and to walk into a realm of higher awareness, deeper truth, and inner transformation. This month holds the vibration of awakening, and with it, a subtle but undeniable pressure will begin to rise in your soul. A pressure not to fear, but to listen to. It is not chaos, but alignment. As the days of April unfold, you may sense that time feels different, slower in some moments, urgently fast in others. You may feel pulled in two directions, one that wants to cling to the comfort of the known, and another that urges you into unfamiliar, yet magnetic territory. This tension is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are standing at the edge of something greater. And the choice to cross that edge must come from within. This portal will not open with loud signs or dramatic spectacles. It will open quietly, through reflection, through stillness, through a series of subtle moments that stir your spirit. The nudge to take a different path, the sudden loss of interest in things that used to matter, the urge to clear space in your home, your heart, your relationships. These are not random urges. They are whispers from your higher self, asking you to make room for what is to come. And what is coming? Truth, clarity, realignment with your soul's purpose. But with truth comes the shedding of illusion, and with clarity often comes discomfort. You may be asked to release versions of yourself that no longer serve your becoming. You may be led to face aspects of your life you've kept hidden even from yourself. The portal of April does not open to everyone. It opens to those who are willing to walk through with open eyes, open hearts, and open hands. Because once you step through, there is no going back. But there is also no greater freedom than living in truth. Nature has never stopped speaking. It is we who forgot how to listen. In April 2025, that silence will break. The natural world, always alive and humming with divine intelligence, will become one of the clearest and most profound channels through which messages are delivered to the spiritually awakened. For those whose inner eyes are opening, trees, winds, birds, and even light itself will begin to speak a language beyond words, a language of symbols, sensations, and sacred synchronicity. You may find yourself drawn inexplicably to certain places in nature, a quiet tree that seems to offer peace, a patch of sunlight that feels like a blessing, a gust of wind that arrives in perfect harmony with your thoughts. These aren't coincidences. They are spiritual responses, confirmation that something beyond the visible is engaging with you, walking with you. Pay attention to these encounters. A bird landing nearby and locking eyes with you, a dog barking in the presence of someone you weren't sure about, or a sudden downpour as you wrestle with a decision. These are signs. They are not random events. They are part of the universe's language, gently nudging you toward clarity. The elements will become mirrors, revealing both what is within you and what surrounds you. The sky may show unusual colors or cloud formations that reflect your emotional state. Water might carry messages through dreams or a sudden longing to sit near a river or ocean. Even the silence in nature may feel full, as though it's whispering something only your spirit can hear. These moments, though easily dismissed by others, will feel deeply significant to you, because they are. To truly receive these signs, you must slow down. Be still. Observe without needing to explain. Not all truth comes through logic. Some of it arrives through feeling, through repetition, through resonance. If a particular animal keeps appearing in your path, look up its symbolic meaning. If the wind stirs just as you speak your fears aloud, pause and listen. April is a month where the veil thins, and the sacred speaks softly but steadily through creation. Let the earth become your sacred text. Let the wind be your prayer. Let the animals, the weather, the movement of leaves, all remind you that you are never alone, and that the universe is always, always speaking. As the spiritual energy intensifies in April 2025, the changes will not only stir within you, they will ripple through your relationships. This is one of the most profound and often most painful aspects of awakening. When your soul begins to vibrate at a higher frequency, not everyone around you will resonate with that shift. Some connections will deepen beautifully, while others will begin to dissolve, quietly or abruptly, as if a curtain has been drawn back, revealing truths that were always there but went unnoticed. You may begin to feel out of sync with people you once felt close to. Conversations that used to bring joy might now feel forced or draining. You might sense subtle tension, misalignment, or even discomfort around certain individuals. This is not your imagination. This is energy no longer matching. And though it may feel confusing or even heartbreaking, this natural separation is not a punishment. It is a form of spiritual protection. Relationships that were built on illusion, obligation, guilt, or outdated versions of yourself will begin to unravel. The masks people wear, whether consciously or unconsciously, will begin to fall. Their words may remain the same, but their energy will tell you everything. You'll start to notice the discrepancy between intention and action, between appearance and truth. And even if no harsh words are exchanged, something inside you will whisper, "This no longer belongs." Letting go is never easy, especially when it involves longtime friends, family, or partners. But clinging to what no longer aligns with your soul will only hold you back from stepping fully into who you are becoming. Some people were meant to walk with you only for a season, not forever. Honor what you shared, grieve if you must, but release with love. What you lose in comfort, you gain in authenticity. And here's the beauty of it. As the old falls away, space is created for something new, for connections that mirror your growth, that nourish your spirit, that challenge you to stay aligned and awake. Relationships rooted in truth, not performance, in shared frequency, not shared history. This is not the end of love. It is the beginning of real love, the kind that sees you, supports your path, and walks beside your becoming. In the stillness of April 2025, as the outer world shifts and relationships realign, an even more powerful transformation will begin within you. Your inner world, the sacred hidden terrain of thoughts, memories, and buried emotions, will rise to the surface, no longer content to remain in the shadows. This is not an attack. It is not regression. It is a divine invitation to meet the parts of yourself you've long ignored and to finally make peace with them. You may begin to feel waves of emotion with no clear origin. Grief, fear, sadness, even anger from years past. Childhood memories may surface without warning. Dreams might become vivid, intense, or strangely symbolic. People you haven't thought about in years may reappear in your mind. Don't resist these moments. They are not here to haunt you. They're here to heal you. These fragments of your past are not interruptions. They are messages. They're pieces of yourself returning, asking to be seen, to be held, to be loved back into wholeness. Many of us are taught to avoid discomfort, to suppress pain, to move forward and never look back. But true transformation does not bypass the wound. It walks through it. The sadness you feel may not be a sign of weakness, but a sign that something sacred is being released. Emotional pain, when honored, becomes the doorway to deeper freedom. This inner unveiling may also show up in your body. You might experience tension in your chest or gut, headaches, changes in appetite or sleep. These are not random symptoms. They are physical echoes of emotional truths asking for attention. Your body in its wisdom is helping you purge what no longer serves. In this process, gentleness is your greatest ally. You are not required to fix everything at once. You are simply being asked to stay present. Breathe, reflect, write, cry if you need to. Allow yourself to feel what arises without judgment. Healing is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you to hide. Within the quiet of this month, you will rediscover your strength. Not the strength of endurance, but the strength of vulnerability. And through this inner tending, you'll begin to see. The parts of you you once rejected were never broken. They were sacred all along. As April progresses, your energetic field, the invisible layer of your being that absorbs, processes, and transmits vibrations, will become more sensitive than ever. This heightened sensitivity is not a flaw. It is not fragility. It is the natural result of a soul that is awakening, refining, and tuning itself to a higher frequency. You are no longer walking through the world blindly. You are feeling it, reading it, responding to it with a depth of awareness that many have not yet touched. You may find yourself suddenly exhausted after social interactions, even with those you love. You might walk into a room and instantly feel heavy, uneasy, or out of place, without knowing why. Certain conversations may feel empty or overstimulating, even painful. Crowds may overwhelm you. Sounds might feel louder. Lights too bright. This is your energetic body alerting you. Something has changed. You are no longer able to tolerate environments, people, or patterns that drain your spirit. What you used to ignore or endure now feels unbearable, not because you've grown weaker, but because you've grown clearer. Your soul is rejecting what no longer serves it, and your body is responding with truth. Honor that response. This isn't a call to isolate, it's a call to listen. Solitude, quiet spaces, nature, deep breathing, meditation. These will become sacred tools, helping you reset and restore. Not because you are escaping, but because you are recalibrating. In a world that often rushes and numbs, your sensitivity is a sacred rebellion, a signal that you are moving in harmony with your inner truth. It's important to protect your energy now, not in fear, but with intention. Not everyone or everything is meant to walk with you in this season. That's not judgment, it's discernment. Begin to notice what expands you and what contracts you, who leaves you feeling seen and who leaves you feeling small, where your energy flows freely and where it withers. Your sensitivity is not a burden. It's a gift, a compass, a guidepost leading you back to what is real. Don't ignore it, don't push through, respect it, because the more you honor your energetic boundaries, the more clearly you'll hear the voice of your spirit, and the more peaceful and powerful your path will become. Though the path of awakening can feel isolating at times, you were never meant to walk it alone. As your inner world transforms and your vision sharpens, you may notice something quietly miraculous beginning to take shape. A new community, one not built on proximity, but on soul resonance, will start to form around you. This is not a community of convenience. It is a sacred gathering of like-hearted souls, drawn together by unseen threads of shared purpose, mutual recognition, and spiritual alignment. These people may enter your life in unexpected ways. A brief conversation with a stranger that leaves a lasting impact. A book recommendation that leads to an important connection. A name that keeps surfacing until you finally pay attention. You'll begin to notice synchronicities, gentle nudges from the universe guiding you into encounters that feel strangely familiar, as if you've known these individuals before, perhaps in another lifetime. And perhaps you have. This community will not be based on appearances, status, or social performance. It will be rooted in truth, energy, and inner knowing. You will feel it in your body, a sense of safety, of recognition, of peace. In their presence, you won't have to explain your journey, your visions, your sensitivity. They will simply understand, because they too have walked through fire to stand in light. These connections will uplift you, challenge you, and remind you that your path, while personal, is part of something far larger, a collective awakening. The loneliness you once felt will begin to fade, not because you've returned to the crowd, but because you've found your soul family. And within this sacred circle, you'll experience the power of shared intention, of spiritual collaboration, of hearts beating to the same quiet rhythm. Do not rush this formation. Let it happen naturally. Trust the timings, trust the intuitive pulls, trust the soft yes your spirit gives when you meet someone who feels like home. This new community will not replace your journey, it will strengthen it. Together you will hold space for one another. Together you will rise. Because in this new world we are entering, no one ascends alone. And as you step more fully into your truth, you will see the right people will arrive, not to complete you, but to remind you that you were never alone to begin with. April 2025 will not be easy, but nothing truly transformative ever is. This month is not meant to break you, but to remake you. Not to punish, but to purify. What your eyes begin to see, both in the world around you and deep within yourself, will stretch you, challenge you, and ultimately free you. This is the season where illusions fall away, where masks dissolve, and where truth steps forward, raw and unfiltered. There may be endings, but with every ending comes sacred space for a new beginning, a new vision, a new alignment with who you were always meant to be. You didn't find this message by accident. No, this moment, this very breath, is sacred. You've been led here by divine orchestration, because your soul was ready. You've been seeking answers, yearning to understand why your journey feels different. Why does your presence stir discomfort? Why does the noise of crowds weigh on your chest like a storm cloud? This message will reveal a truth your spirit has always known, but perhaps never fully heard. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are a chosen one, marked by divine hands, set apart with purpose. And today, you will come to understand why your soul cannot thrive in the midst of many, and why that truth is not your weakness, but your greatest protection. Before beginning the video, let's subscribe, like this video, and stay with me until the end of this message, and you will understand why you were led here. This is your moment. From the moment you took your first breath, something about you was different. While others seemed to move effortlessly within the flow of the world, you often found yourself on the edges, watching, sensing, knowing. You tried to follow the rhythm around you, but deep within, a quieter melody called you elsewhere. No matter how much you tried to blend in, there was always something setting you apart. That difference wasn't a flaw. It was a sign. You have been marked by something greater than yourself. To be a chosen one is not a title of pride. It's a sacred responsibility. It means your spirit has been wired to perceive beyond the surface, to feel what others ignore, and to carry light into places where shadows rule. It's not a path for the faint of heart. It's a road walked by the few who are called, not by comfort, but by conviction. Even before you understood your purpose, the evidence was there. You saw through facades. You questioned what others accepted blindly. While the crowd chased trends, your soul longed for truth, for something eternal. That inner ache wasn't confusion. It was a calling. And now, that calling is awakening. You were not born to follow the crowd, but to rise above it. Not to seek popularity, but to embody purpose. The loneliness you've felt, the misunderstanding you've endured, they are not punishments, but confirmations, signs that you were designed for a higher path. To be chosen means you carry a light the world cannot comprehend, and because of that light, your journey will never be ordinary. It will be sacred, intentional, marked by divine orchestration and supernatural protection. You are not like the rest, because you were never meant to be. As you continue along the path of awakening, you may have noticed something strange yet consistent. Being around too many people leaves you feeling exhausted, anxious, even spiritually suffocated. It's as if the air becomes heavier, your spirit recoils, and your inner peace slowly slips away. At times, you've questioned yourself. Am I antisocial? Is there something wrong with me? But deep down, your soul knows the truth. You are not made to move with the crowd. This sacred disconnect isn't a flaw in your design. It's a form of divine protection. You were created with a heightened sensitivity, a spiritual awareness that allows you to perceive more than just words or appearances. You sense energy. You feel intention. You detect what is unspoken, what lies beneath the surface. And because your spirit is tuned to a higher frequency, being around the masses, where chaos, unresolved wounds, and unconscious energy swirl, creates a sharp contrast. It's like light trying to blend with shadows. The vibrations simply don't align. This misalignment is not a coincidence. It's sacred strategy. The divine has intentionally set you apart, not to isolate you in pain, but to preserve the purity of your purpose. If you were constantly immersed in the noise of the world, your vision would blur, your energy would scatter, and your calling could be compromised. That's why you feel the pull to retreat after social encounters. So when you feel the tension rise in a crowd, when your soul longs for stillness, listen. That is your spirit recognizing the disconnect, not as rejection of others, but as recognition of who you truly are. You weren't meant to carry everyone's energy. You were meant to carry light. You are chosen, and your sacred separation is part of the call. If you've ever felt like life pushed you into seasons of solitude, where friends faded, relationships fell away, and the noise of the world quieted, you're not alone. In fact, you're right where you're supposed to be. For the chosen ones, isolation is never accidental. It's intentional. It's not a punishment, but a divine strategy. When God sets someone apart, He often begins by removing the distractions. Not because you're meant to be lonely forever, but because you're meant to be prepared. Great missions require great focus, and focus is forged in quiet places. Look through Scripture, and you'll see the same pattern again and again. Before Moses led a nation, he wandered the wilderness. Before Elijah called down fire, he hid in a cave. Even Jesus withdrew to mountains and gardens to pray, alone, before walking into miracles. The wilderness was not where they were abandoned. It was where they were anointed. Your isolation has purpose. It is the sacred space where God removes what no longer serves you and begins to whisper the truth of who you are. It is in these hidden seasons that your discernment sharpens, your spirit strengthens, and your calling becomes clearer. When the noise fades, the voice of God can rise. You may grieve the people who left. You may mourn the doors that closed. But understand this: some were not meant to walk with you into your destiny. They were part of your development, not your destination. So instead of resenting your solitude, embrace it. It is your training ground, a place where heaven equips you for what's coming next. You are not being cast aside. You are being consecrated. In the stillness, the chosen are made ready. As a chosen one, your soul is equipped with more than just awareness. It's wired with profound sensitivity. You feel deeply, intensely, and often without explanation. This isn't a flaw. It's not weakness. It is a sacred gift, a divine trait embedded in your spirit to help you navigate a broken world. But with that gift comes a burden. You don't just hear people's words. You feel their pain, sense their energy. and absorb their unspoken emotions. You can walk into a room and detect tension without a single word being said. You know when someone is pretending to smile through pain, when chaos is hidden beneath silence. This is not your imagination. It is empathic sensitivity, and it runs through your very being. Yet while this sensitivity allows you to offer healing, compassion, and truth, it also makes you vulnerable. Without spiritual boundaries, you begin to carry what was never yours: grief, anxiety, anger, fear. Over time, it becomes overwhelming. Exhaustion follows, and you're left wondering why simply being around others leaves you feeling drained. That's why the divine often calls you away from the crowd. It's not because you lack love for people. It's because your heart is so open, it risks being overrun. The world is not kind to open spirits. Many project their wounds without knowing it, and you, being tuned into the soul-level frequency, absorb far more than most ever will. Solitude becomes your sanctuary. In stillness, you release what's not yours. In sacred spaces, your soul is cleansed and your light restored. You must learn to protect this gift, not in fear, but in wisdom. Because your empathy isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. And if you are to lead others into healing, you must first learn to guard your own light. With great calling comes great responsibility. And for the chosen one, that responsibility begins with clarity. The path you walk isn't common. It isn't crowded. It's narrow, intentional, and sacred. And for you to fulfill what God has assigned, your vision must remain clear, focused, and undistracted. This is why your life cannot be cluttered with noise. Distractions may seem harmless, even pleasant at times. But for someone like you, who carries divine instructions, distractions can be dangerous. They blur your inner vision, scatter your energy, and drown out the still, small voice of the divine. You cannot afford to be pulled in every direction. Your mission is too important. When you felt the sudden urge to withdraw from social gatherings, when certain conversations felt hollow or draining, that was your spirit recognizing the dissonance. That discomfort is not random. It's a holy signal reminding you that not every room deserves your presence, and not every voice deserves your attention. Because every moment you spend in misaligned spaces costs you clarity. And clarity is your spiritual compass. Your assignment, whether it's to heal, lead, teach, or awaken others, requires a sharpness that only solitude can sharpen. In the quiet, you hear what heaven is saying. In the stillness, divine blueprints are revealed. Without that space, your path becomes foggy, and your power diluted. The enemy knows this. That's why confusion often comes wrapped in busyness and shallow connection. But you weren't made for surface-level living. You were made to move with intentionality, to walk in alignment with God's rhythm, not the world's rush. So protect your clarity. Guard your focus like treasure. Because your next step may not just change your life, it may awaken someone else's. You've asked the questions in silence. Why is it taking so long? Why do others seem to move ahead while I remain hidden? But what you may not have realized is that your delay is not denial. It is divine orchestration. As a chosen one, your life doesn't follow the patterns of the world. You don't move on society's schedule. You move on heaven's timeline. And while that timing may feel slow, confusing, or even painful, it is always perfect. The divine is never in a rush, because what he is building in you is meant to last. Every closed door, every unexpected ending, every quiet season of your life has been part of a greater design. You are being pruned, refined, prepared, not only for your purpose, but for the weight of it. Because the truth is, your calling demands maturity, depth, and spiritual strength that can't be developed overnight. What looks like a detour is often a divine redirection. While others may chase opportunity, your steps are ordered. God removes people before they distract you. He delays blessings until your foundation is strong enough to hold them. He conceals you in obscurity until you're spiritually fortified for visibility. This is protection, not punishment. So when life feels still, when you sense pause instead of progress, remember, seeds don't bloom the moment they're planted. They grow silently beneath the soil, hidden, but alive. Trust the timing. He who called you knows exactly when to release you. And when that moment comes, you won't have to force anything. You'll simply step into what was always meant to be. Your life is unfolding by divine design, and your season of revealing is drawing near. There's a reason your voice hasn't reached the masses yet. A reason your gifts have remained tucked away in quiet places. A reason your light has been seen only by a few. You have been hidden, not forgotten, not overlooked, but intentionally concealed by the hand of the divine. Being chosen does not always mean immediate visibility. In fact, for many, it means just the opposite. Before elevation comes preparation, and before preparation can complete its work, there must be isolation, refinement, and growth. Away from the spotlight. God hid you because He was protecting what He placed inside of you. He was building strength in your silence, shaping your character when no one was watching. He was teaching you to stand without applause, to trust His voice without needing validation, to walk with purpose even when no one understood. You weren't being buried. You were being planted. And just like a seed must remain underground before it breaks through the soil, your hidden season has been necessary. It is in the darkness where roots grow deep. It is in obscurity that resilience is born. When the time is right, and only when it's right, God will reveal what He has been preparing. You will not need to push your way forward. The doors will open because heaven will open them, and you will walk through, not as someone desperate to be seen, but as someone fully equipped to serve. So don't despise your hidden season. It was never meant to confine you. It was designed to complete you. Because what is unseen by the world is still known by heaven. And when heaven reveals you, the world will see the power of a life protected, preserved, and prepared on purpose. So now breathe. Stand in the fullness of who you are. You were not made to blend in. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were marked, refined, and commissioned for a purpose only you can fulfill. The separation you've endured, it is not your prison. It is your sanctuary. The silence you've walked through, it was not abandonment. It was divine intimacy. You were set apart because you were set above. Now go forth, not seeking the crowd's approval, but carrying heaven's assignment. Move with clarity. Speak with purpose. Shine without apology. Because chosen one, your time has come.